Hi, and welcome to the 2021 BDOG check-in video. So this is just a quick video to remind everyone of what is coming up now that Big Day of Giving is getting close. We want to thank Western Health Advantage as well as our other sponsors, notably Nugget, the Keller Family Pathway, the Kennedy Ford Family Fund, and Golden One Credit Union for sponsoring Big Day of Giving again this year and making it possible. So shout out to those sponsors. So some resources to check out in the resource tab. I know we talk about it a lot. But it really has a lot of useful things for everyone. We have our 8-week work plan. If you haven't started working on that, it'll give you kind of a calendar of ideas on marketing, how to plan for Big Day of Giving in terms of roles and responsibilities, and anything else that you might need to know before Big Day of Giving. We also have the nonprofit user guide. This is kind of our BDOG encyclopedia. If you have any questions about any of the website or the program in general, you should be able to find answers there. If not, let us know and we will add them. The marketing toolkit, we'll go over some additional things that have been added, but it is a comprehensive toolkit with BDOG universally used material for marketing. There's also a lot of customizable graphics. There's some sample language, there is, talking points. So there's a lot of useful things in there to check out. Bootcamp recordings. This is the boot camps that we had in February. They're all available as recordings in the resource tab. Also remember that if you're new, you're required to watch at least 2 of those recordings. If you didn't attend, we want to make sure that you get the most out of your Big Day of Giving experience. So make sure to catch up on those as they have a lot of helpful information. The board individual development plan, also called the IDP, is something that you can find in the resource tab. And that is kind of like a contract between you and your board members that you can customize and make fit your organization. We also have the spotlight form where you can share more stories about your organization that we will feature on the BDOG social media channels in the order that we receive them. And finally, our mentors, we talk about them a lot, but they are such a great resource, and they are available if you need to reach out to someone to ask just general questions, or you want to bounce ideas off them. Make sure to find them in the mentor search tab. So like I said, we'll talk a little bit about the marketing toolkit. We have GIFs this year, or GIFs, available that you can find even when you look up Big Day of Giving in like a text message app or on Facebook. You can find those, so you can add those to your posts. And there's some sample posts, so make sure to check that out. There's a lot of really great stuff, very user-friendly things that you can use. Next thing is, some people might be having socially distant outdoor events this year. They might be having virtual events. Make sure that you let us know. And we have a page on our website where we list all the events happening, and we also tell our media partners about events happening in the area. So if you have an event scheduled on or before leading up to Big Day of Giving, you can put that in the event submission form that is also in the resource tab. Another thing not to forget is that donors can pledge volunteer hours at checkout. So, it's not something that you have to do anything special for, but you can always promote it if you'd like. So at the checkout, when they go to make their donation, they can click if they want to pledge volunteer hours for your organization and how many. In 2020, when we first introduced the volunteer pledge hours, we had 68,000 hours pledged, equivalent to 33 years of full-time work. Remember that if someone pledges volunteer hours for your organization and you would like them to volunteer in the future, you will then need to follow up with them yourself and set up that volunteer opportunity. You'll get a column in your donation information that you'll see if someone has pledged volunteer hours and how many. We also just wanted to take a couple minutes to show how you can find a couple features that you will want to use both prior to Big Day of Giving and on the day of. So when you're logged into your Giving Edge account and you go to My Public Profile, you will see a button to set matching funds. So if you have matching funds to add, this is where you can add them. So you would click that yes, you do have matching funds, and it is a pool. So if you had, $500 from someone and $2,000 from another, you would enter $2,500 and confirm that amount. And then you can also put the name of your donors if you would like to. That's not required, but it would show on your page if you did put something there. And then you would click update match funds, and we will go in and approve those matching funds for you. If you have to change those matching funds at all, you can just click it and update what number it is. So if you got an additional $500, then you would want to change that to $3,000. And just click update matching funds. If you made a mistake, you can always go in and click 0 matching funds, and you want to get rid of your matching funds, that would get rid of it that way. Another thing that you can see now on your page is if you go down, you'll see a place to set an event goal and a fundraising page goal. The event goal will be public on your profile, and we'll show you what that will look like. You don't have to set either of these, but you do have the option to do so if you would like. You would go in and click update goal. And so it shows us what we raised last year. So maybe based on that, we would want to raise $1,500. And the rest of this information for event goals and fundraising goals won't show on your website. It's just for your tracking internally. But then you could click submit, and on the day of, it will show what your goal is to the public. So this is what your profile will look like on the back end on the day of Big Day of Giving. So note that your My Profile tab will be gone, the Mentor tab will be gone. It's really meant to simplify things so that way you can focus on what's important on the day. You'll see also when you are here that you don't have a My Donations tab. Where you'll actually see that this time is if you scroll down, you'll see all of the donations that you get through the Big Day of Giving website here. As you get them, they'll be populated under these tabs. If you scroll over, you can see, and so there's a lot of different donation fields that you'll get information about. You can export those donors by clicking that export button, and it'll export it as an Excel file. You can also filter by last name if you're looking for someone specific, or email or phone number, and you can also do by date, but on Big Day of Giving, it'll default to only donations shown that day. Down below is where you'll be able to enter any offline gifts you get. So that is checks or gifts made through other websites. And you can add those offline gifts by clicking add offline, and put in the information about how much the offline donation is, what type it is. This is just for your own tracking. If you have a donation that is made up of multiple gifts, so say you got 10 $10 gifts and you don't want to enter each one individually, you don't have to. You could put that you have 10 donations and that it is $100, and that's a way for you to be able to enter offline gifts in bulk if you don't want to enter it individually. That's up to you. You can enter the donor's information if you want, but again, it's however you want to track your offline donations. That is not required. This would just be so that way any of those offline gifts can still get counted towards your total on your profile page. Once you do that, then you could click submit, and it'll show up here. You can also then add another gift. You will also see that you do have the event goal listed here again. So say maybe you reached your goal very early in the day, you can always click update goal and submit that. And then it will update on our public profile on how much we raised and how close we are to our goal. So just a few important reminders about offline gifts that people often forget. If you're entering offline gifts one at a time, so for each individual donation that you get, then the donation count will always be 1. That field is really just in case you want to add multiple gifts at one time. Also remember that because we can't verify offline gifts, there's things that offline gifts don't count towards. Most notably, most prizes offline gifts don't count towards, so make sure to check the description in the prize. And then also offline gifts don't count towards meeting your matching funds on your website. So, for your matching fund donor, that might count, which is fine. But on your profile, as you get online donations, you'll see that your matching funds decrease. When you add offline gifts, that is not the case. So only online gifts made through the Big Day of Giving website count towards counting down those matching funds. Also, you want to make sure that you don't add your matching funds as an offline gift. If you got your matching funds as a check or something like that, some people get confused and then they also enter their matching funds as an offline gift on the day of. Once you add your matching funds, it will automatically get added to your total as you meet those matching funds. If you enter the matching funds as an offline gift, they will be counted twice. And finally, once you add offline gifts, you cannot edit them. So make sure that you enter them correct. If you, for some reason, do need to make an edit, you will have to email us and we will have to change it from our end because it does affect the overall ticker on the front page of the website. On the front end of the website, you'll see the total that was raised during the day. If you look up your organization, and click on the profile, you can then see how close you are to reaching your goal there if you had set a goal. If you have any matching funds, it'll also say that below this number. So it'll say how much in matching funds you have available. And then once your match is met, so say we had 10,000 in matching funds and we raised $10,000 in online donations. Remember, only online donations count towards the matching funds. Then it would say match met under the total there. On the day of, you'll also want to make sure that you are looking at the leaderboard, which you can find under the leaderboard tab. And here you can see what place you are on the total leaderboard, but you can also see, fundraisers have their own leaderboards. Or donors can also see on the organizational leaderboard who has matches remaining if they want to give to people who still have matching funds. And then you can also go to the prize tab, and this is what you will want to keep an eye on, because on the prize tab, that's where you can see if you won any prizes. You won't get notified directly if you've won any prizes. So you do have to check this prize tab to see if you've won any of those. You can look through all of the pages of the prizes as they get added. Finally, I also just want to go over where you can find fundraising pages on the Big Day of Giving website. Again, that's what we call peer-to-peer fundraisers on the platform. If you're still not familiar with them, I recommend you watch the last recording of the bootcamp and explains what fundraising pages are. But to find those, you can go to Give Now, and it will pull up all of the organizations that are participating in Big Day of Giving. And you'll see that there is a tab called Fundraising tab. And there's not any listed right now because all of them are waiting to be made for this new Big Day of Giving, but you will see them all listed on that tab, similar to how you see the nonprofit profiles listed here. So another reminder, in advance of Big Day of Giving, we do have prizes. We have up to $100,000 in prizes available this year. So make sure to go to the bigdayofgiving.org page /prizes. You can also find it in the drop-down menu of the Big Day of Giving tab on the front. And those are all thanks to our sponsors. So on that page, you can see all of the prizes. Make sure to read the descriptions carefully, as well as the prize rules, to see what counts towards the prizes and what does not. And finally, we do have some prizes that require a submission prior to May 6th, specifically the business partnership prize. So make sure that you are paying attention to all of the rules there and getting all of that in on time. We have the Golden One match again this year. So Golden One provides a $50,000 proportional match to organizations and its members who give with their Golden One card on the day of Big Day of Giving. We will do the rest of all of the calculations. So all they have to do is give with their Golden One card, and we will work out the match after the day concludes. One thing to note is that it is a proportional match. So it's not a dollar to dollar match. Basically, after Big Day of Giving, we see how much was given with Golden One cards and what the proportion to each organization was for the Golden One cards. And then the $50,000 is distributed proportionally based on that total. This match is different from the matching dollars that you would raise for your organization yourself. So make sure to look in the user guide if you still have questions about that. Also, you can reach out to us or a mentor, and we'd be happy to explain further if you're still confused by that. So once Big Day of Giving concludes, just a reminder, similar to last year, for those of you who participated, we will be using e-checks. So all of the money that you raised through the Big Day of Giving website will be compiled into one check, and we will include prizes in that check. And if you get any gifts from fund holders at the foundation, as well as if you get any Golden One credit union matches, we will take out any of the fees, and that will all be compiled into one check that will get to you no later than June 30th. It does take us a while to reconcile all of those gifts because there are so many. We will send that e-check and a separate email with the breakdown of what goes into that amount. And we will send that to the person who is listed under e-check recipient on your Giving Edge profile. So if you go to your My Public Profile page and you look at who is designated as the recipient of the e-check that you put in, that is the person who will receive that check and the breakdown email. So make sure that you look for that. Unfortunately, based on security and how things work, we can't CC other people onto that email, so it will only go to one recipient. We'll send an email ahead of time just reminding people that that is coming. So make sure to be also checking your spam folders. If you have any other questions, we have a complete informational FAQ at bigdayofgiving.org/checks. Finally, you're going to want to make sure that you thank your donors. Every year, we hear tons of comments in the donor section of people not receiving a thank you from the organization. And it really is a quick way to make sure that your donor does not come back the next year. Some people do get confused because they think that the tax receipt email that the foundation automatically sends when someone makes a gift through the website is a thank you letter, and it is not. It is just a receipt of their donation. It is important that you reach out to that donor because it's your donor and you thank them for the gift that they made. So any gifts that are not made through the website, any of your offline donations, we do not send a tax receipt to those donors. So you would also need to send any information that they would need for tax purposes to them if they gave through other avenues other than the BDOG website. Just a quick timeline about what will be happening up until May 6th. April 2nd is the last day to make major edits to your Giving Edge profile. So that would be anything like major text edits. That also includes any financial documents that you still might need to get up on your profile. Those would be included in major profile edits. April 12th is the first day to create fundraising pages. So again, if you don't know what fundraising pages are, I recommend you go watch the boot camp on peer-to-peer fundraising. April 22nd is the day that early giving begins. So that's the day that people can start making gifts on the website that count towards Big Day of Giving. We will be having our last Q&A call on the 28th in case you have any last questions. There are certain things that you won't be able to do on the day of. You cannot create a fundraising page on the day of Big Day of Giving. So if there's any that you want made, make sure to do it prior to that day. Any small profile edits, you can't make any profile edits whatsoever on the day of. So small profile edits can be made up until May 5th, and that includes maybe you had a new board member or someone left. You can also add photos and videos to your profile. Just make sure to submit all of those profile edits for approval, and those will then be put on your page, but you do need to do that before Big Day of Giving. You can also add and edit matching funds up until the day before Big Day of Giving, but not on the day of Big Day of Giving. So make sure to get those matching funds done and in by May 5th if you plan to use them. On May 6th, clearly it's Big Day of Giving. May 7th is the day after Big Day of Giving. Offline gifts, so any gifts that are made outside of the website do need to be entered by noon. So that is a hard deadline. We can't extend it. So if you have any gifts that you want counted towards your total on your profile, you need to submit those by noon. And also make sure that you are thanking your donors and your volunteers, your board members, anyone who was a part of your campaign. Finally, June 30th, that is the latest date that e-checks will be sent out via email. So again, make sure to check out e-checks if you have any questions about them. And if you want any more details on these dates, make sure to check out the BDOG calendar in the resource tab. Thank you all so much and good luck, and let us know if you have any questions at all.